Hey everyone. This one might get a little bit wild because, I kind of in 2024, I mean, there was a lot of everything, but it was basically mind awakening, kind of using the mind against the mind. Um, and then at the retreat in December, there's more of an energetic unhooking of uh, of the self structure, but there was still a lot more to go. The deep dive weekend, I feel like there was a big heart explosion, not not it wasn't pleasant. It was extremely painful. Uh, and part of that might have, unpleasant is a label. So if it felt that way, it was probably largely due to like resistance and fear and that kind of thing. And now we're getting down to the guts. So the guts, there's the real existential, deep, deep, like I think of it kind of like the source code, like it's the themes aren't new, the beliefs aren't new, the fears aren't new, none of it's new. I've been playing with it here and playing with it here, and now it's like, I mean, I should say playing with. I mean, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of work. It's been not always easy by any stretch. It's been, at times painful, confusing, scary, all the things. But but this one is like way underneath all of it. It's like I mean, I'm gonna kind of diagram things out. I don't really know what's going on. Nobody really knows what's going on, I don't think. But if I could try to make some comprehensible sense of it, because if you don't put words and concepts on it, you can't say anything at all. And they say silence is the best teaching, and that's great. But some of our minds feel like they need to have some kind of map, even if you end up throwing the map out completely. A map can be helpful along the way to here. So weird. Whatever. There's a path and there's no path. There's a map and there's no map. But anyway, yeah, for me, what it feels like is that the gut is it's like these energetic clenchings wedged deep into these crevasses, um, and they're wedged and they're tight, and they are sending up distress signals of like, don't look here, don't look here, don't look here, don't come here, don't come here, don't come here. And it's just like it's throwing the kitchen sink, and it's deeply uncomfortable, often. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it's like, well, that's the last place I want to go, but I know it's where I have to go. So, so it throws up things like, yeah, I said it's completely incoherent and irrational, very young, very insistent. It just seems like this sort of tantrum. And it's like Adyashanti says, it says no to life and no to death. It says no to, being in a role in a family, and it's saying no to checking out of that role. And it's no to, it's like, it's just no, 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 no. Just deep, deep no. So irrational pairs of beliefs include, and again, none of this is new, it's just deeper layers of it. But I'm not worthy of this magnificent world, and this universe is dumb and I need to fix it. Like it's dumb, it's ugly, it's stupid, and it needs to be the way that I think it should be. Okay. Or I'm special, I'm amazing, I'm a mighty generational healer, I'm finally maturing and being a real adult, and and I'm the most pathetic, disordered, hopeless scum imaginable. Um, and I get the mistaken impression sometimes that I need to take on a new persona as a mature adult, whatever the hell that means. And it's like I have images in my head of like somebody who's confident, somebody who's connected to Mother Earth, somebody who's, you know, bravely doing important work for the universe. Uh, like that's a new persona, right? Um, but it's almost kind of like I have to go through that persona to get beyond that persona, if that makes sense. Because it's like you have the old persona that you're pathetic and helpless and disordered and useless and blah. And then you're like, oh no, okay, now I'm a mature adult and I'm a productive member of society, whatever, a productive member of the spiritual realm, whatever you want to call it. Um, and eventually, like, you have to realize, I don't know what the fuck I am. I don't know what the fuck it's going to look like. Trying to fit it into any conception at all is the is the whole problem. It's switching from disordered to healthy, switching from immature to mature, switching from useless to useful is not the point. It's all dualities. So yeah, that's another one. Um, this is the big one. I don't deserve love from anyone, and other people should be what I want and expect them to be. Now, this is something that it's felt most strongly in two of the most, you know, fraught realms of human existence, which is politics and family, right? It's like my mom should be someone who's attuned and, this. Um, like you can have that belief and good luck with it. Like you can't make anybody else be any different. Or uh, my daughter should want to dance with me. It's like obviously I don't press that in real life, but it's like in my head. It's like the person who's my daughter, I had an image of, because she used to love to dance, and she's kind of, she goes through phase. She loved to sing, then she loved to dance, now she loves to paint, and I can paint with her more. I'm kind of wary of doing that because I don't want to prejudice, because she has such an incredible style that if she starts copying my plotting, you know, because I kind of got my style from my cousin Andrea, and and hers is it's just like a little Van Gogh. It's incredible. Um, she did what looks like a black hole, like the sort of the images of the black hole. But if the image of the black hole was its starry night, and more colorful, so yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. And yeah, anyway, that's an aside. But yeah, or you know, my son shouldn't argue like a little lawyer about everything. Well, but he does. So, I can try to mold him into my image of who he should be, or I can accept him exactly as he is. Um, and again, this one, like I say, I've recognized it for a long time. I've worked with it for a long time. Um, it's not like in everyday life I'm trying to mold everyone around me into what I think they should be, especially, family members. I do know better. But they can still be a little bit of a punch in the gut when things don't go the way that I think they should. And in politics, of course, it's like you shouldn't be a bully, you shouldn't be a jerk, you shouldn't be stupid, you shouldn't be incompetent, you shouldn't, It's like, well, they're doing what they're doing, and I can do what I do, and as long as I'm like feeling like, why is everything totally wrong? Why aren't things like the way that I want them to be? And then I'm suffering. And like I say, it pops up in new layers, new guises. And this feels like the source code, like the base layer of like, if I work through this, then I mean, what do I have left to identify with other than judgments, other than fears, other than some kind of image of who I am? That because if it's there's a fear that like if I'm not defining who I am, then other people get to define me. And it's like, no, actually nobody gets to define me because there's no definition. There's no change on a dime. It's yeah, it's amorphous at best, and it could change on a dime. So even if somebody pinned me all the way down as I was in a given moment, it could change in the next moment. So yeah. Um, and then this really deep core belief that I keep bumping up against, which is anytime I threaten to be happy, anytime joy threatens to come in, there's this like, but there's so much suffering and loneliness in the world. You can't just sit around and enjoy yourself. You can't just abandon everyone to their fate. And it's like, I know I'm a drop in the ocean. It's not my place to try to reform the entire ocean. It's not my place to try to take anyone's suffering, which I don't know if it's good or bad. I can't judge that. And it feels like and I know I've said this a million times on these videos, so bear with me as I continue to struggle with this, but even a bodhisattva maybe isn't a real bodhisattva as long as there's a kind of condition attached, which is I'm going to make the rest of the world happy so that I can be happy. Like maybe that's not really bodhisattvahood. Maybe that's more like self-absorption. It's more like selfishness, self-centeredness. When there's no self, there's no problem. But that's a sneaky way to hold on to self. As like, well, I need to hang on to that until everybody else is safe and happy and fine and uh, there's no more suffering anywhere. Right? It's totally irrational because by that logic, no one's ever going to be happy. It's never going to happen. I mean, happy here I kind of use as a to mean like contentment, equanimity, not like everything's perfect, but like I'm not adding my suffering to the mix of suffering. And in my mind, there's no logical argument against that. But in my gut, doesn't give a shit about logic. It even sees a duck in a pond without a partner and feels this kind of contraction, this kind of responsibility, this kind of almost like identification with other people's suffering and other ducks suffering, apparently. Not that I'm a duck, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I mean, of course, I've been feeling into the distress signals from my gut, trying to meet them neutrally. And sometimes they do, they turn into, pleasant sensations. Um, but that doesn't last very long. It tends to go back to being quite uncomfortable. And I guess there's resistance to spending a lot of time with it because my mind says, well, you might just waste a bunch of time. You got things to do. Stop gazing at your navel. That's from the, yeah, being shamed a lot as a kid, I think, for being like oversensitive and selfish and spoiled and that kind of thing. So anything that smacks of that a little bit, even if maybe, I mean, it's funny. On the one hand, doing this work is difficult, humbling. On the other hand, it's what I want to do the most. So it feels in that sense indulgent. I guess we don't acknowledge the work we do that we enjoy as something worthwhile because it's like our culture says, no, you have to hustle and suffer and do things you don't want to do to prepare, to make a better future for yourself and others. That's our ethos. Here and now, throw it away. Doesn't matter. Future, 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 future. And it's amazing to me how strong that brainwashing still is in my system. I mean, I guess, in a sense, in an evolutionary sense, it was adaptive in some situations. So that makes sense. Feels like survival. Feels like being responsible. And it's not like I'm gonna, burn my house down to look at the pretty flames. Like I mean, I don't know. Maybe if, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. The unknown. I don't know what the unknown looks like by definition. So no wonder the gut is like, don't fuck around and find out, because maybe that's gonna be, that's gonna be it for yourself and your lineage, maybe your species too. So that's it. That's where I'm at now. My gut level no to life and no to death. No to the present moment and no to death. And that's what it feels like living in this present moment. It feels like really giving yourself over to, well, admitting fully all the way down to your guts that you don't have control and you don't know what's going to happen. It feels like death. So you say no to that. And you also say no to this moment right here. This now. It's not good enough. It's not okay to be here now because you got things to do, future looking things to do so that you can survive. And say no to that also. No, 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 no. No life, no death. Yep. Tell me about your guts if you're in this situation, and good luck to us all.